We continue on introducing you to some fabulous local women-owned businesses. Of course, you are watching Operation Support Local present Showstoppers in collaboration with Catherine Landry's SheShopsLocal.ca. And it's even special because this is our Valentine's Day edition. So if you have not picked up something for your loved ones yet, this next guest has some, not just one thing, but many things that are going to be really unique, really special to wow those loved ones in your life for Valentine's Day. I am joined by Angie, the big cheese and owner of Good Grazes. Angie, how are you doing?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
I'm excellent, thanks. Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. I want you to give us a little bit of history and the inspiration behind your fabulous business. Tell me a little bit about it.
So we launched originally in October of 2019, my partner and I, and he had the food industry background. His family has a full-service fine dining catering company, and he kind of saw this trend coming from afar, and he said it was big in Australia, and it was in Europe, and it was sort of starting to hit Toronto. And he said, this is my family's company is at capacity, we can't do this, but this could be a fun side project. So this was back in the days when events were a thing and groups. I don't know if you remember groups and parties. We
I
used
remember
to
those
cater.
good times. Yeah.
The good old days. So
Yeah.
we started by doing grazing tables at events. So big, lavish tables, meat and cheese, charcuterie, fruits and veggies and things like that. So we did corporate events and weddings, parties of all kinds. And then when COVID hit, we do what we call the pivot, and we sort of rearranged the business model. And we thought, well, if we can't cater to groups, let's put it in a box and let's deliver it right to people's homes. And so it was a fun new option that people hadn't seen in Ottawa yet, because it's not pizza, it's not poutine and shawarmas, all those are tried and true choices. But now it was something different that you could have delivered to the door.
It's probably my favorite meal, honestly. I love, and you know, it's just, what do you think makes it so special? You think it's just the fact that, you know, it's such a social way to eat and enjoy food?
Yeah, that's it. I think the funny thing that I realized once we started this company is that everybody kind of already does this at home, and there wasn't a word for it, like grazing. You know, they didn't really think about it that way, but we've all done it where we're just like, I'll some pickles and crackers and cheese and let's go. And my mom fed me like that for lunches sometimes, and it was just we called it a picnic when I was growing up. My mom would be like, how about a picnic? And I was thrilled by that, and she was like, oh good, I don't have to cook. But it's like fresh fruits and veggies, and it's sort of a little bit of everything. So a lot of people have responded, and their reaction to this company is, oh, that's great, I love doing that. But it is a lot of effort to go buy all the products and arrange it all yourself and sort of know what to pair with what. So people appreciate that someone can deliver a curated little picnic to their home.
Yeah, well, that's what I like about the idea behind your business is the fact, you know, as I said, it's one of the favorite meals for my family and I, but you're right. You go out to get everything, right? And, you know, you're getting the deli meats and the cheeses, and then, you know, you're getting bread and
Mm-hmm.
so forth. And it ends up, you know, it's a minimum of 100 grams. You can pretty much get of anything. And then you talk about, you know, talking about the
Yeah.
cheeses, you've got to get a big, and then once the meal's over, okay, you've got all this leftover. But I think what's great is, you guys can curate it perfect, and then it's just that one meal, and we don't have to, you know, we don't have to necessarily worry about trying to find other ways to use everything that we have on hand.
Yeah, exactly. And so we have different sizes, sort of a small, medium, large for now, which is we have an individual size box. We call it a lunch box. It's like the perfect serving for one person to have a little lunch. Our standard box is a 9x9 box, and it's 2 to 4 people, 2 as a meal, 4 as a snack. And then we have a family board that could be up to 6 or 7 people. It always depends on how hungry people are. So someone will say, how many does it feed? And I go, how hungry are you? If you have 3 teenage boys, you need to upgrade. But if you're just lightly snacking, you know, this should be fine.
I mentioned off the top of the segment, and of course off the top of the show, is that this is our special edition Showstopper Valentine's Day edition, and you have a showstopper to introduce to our. Tell us a little bit about your showstopper. It's a Valentine's Day themed one.
That's right. So we have a Valentine's Day themed box. We're calling it the date night box. So it features, we have salami rosettes, you'll see. And I have a brie with a raspberry compote. We have chocolate dipped strawberries, prosciutto. We have marbled heart-shaped sugar cookies. Chocolates, lots of chocolate things, cinnamon hearts, things like that, chorizo. We have Caprese Bites. It's red and white themed, and it's delicious. And it's a little bit of everything. So you get the sweet and the savory, the pickled things, and dips and spreads and things like that. So it's all the things that you'll put together and have a little bit of everything that you want for your little date night. So without having to go to the store and get all that.
Well, yeah, it's perfect. I love the idea. Let's talk a little bit about the fact that you also have something for everyone. So there's a lot of different dietary restrictions out there. I think we're being a lot more cognizant of those, and businesses like yourself are becoming more cognizant of it as well. Tell us what you have done as far as dietary needs for people out there.
Well, we like to say that's like grazing and snacking is for everyone. So charcuterie is not everyone's thing, and that's totally understandable. And there's allergens to be aware of. So we have our sort of standard products where it's like if you're not sure, we'll tell you what goes well with what. But if you're not sure, everything is customizable fully. If you say you don't like prosciutto, we won't put it. But we can do a box vegetarian, halal, gluten-free, nut-free, dairy-free. We have lactose-free cheeses. We have cashew cheeses. And one of our boxes is a specialty vegan box, 100% vegan products.
Amazing. You have curbside pickup. You also have delivery. And I know a lot of businesses I've spoken to, other companies, when it comes to delivery, and you've found a solution for yourself and for your customers as far as delivery goes. Tell me a little bit.
Well, we found that doing all the deliveries ourselves almost started limiting us because we would have to close up shop and then head out on the town and then stop taking orders and stop creating new orders. So we actually partnered with another Orleans-based company called iDeliver, and they basically it's homegrown and it's much more reasonable and fair to the restaurants. I don't know if you know, but the Skip the Dishes and the Uber Eats and everything, well, they're great and they market for you, but they take a very high percentage. And food margins are already very thin, so it's tough. It's like you have to be on there, but you can suffer a little bit. So this homegrown Orleans one is taking a much smaller percentage, and they gave us the solution at the same time, so we can stay here and just call a driver on demand, or we do flash sales on social media, and then we direct people to the iDeliver site where they order directly through them and they send a driver. So it's increased our capacity to be able to outsource the delivery like that. So that's been great for Orleans. This community has embraced us. Like I never knew how amazing this community was and how supportive until I started a business here, but they are just such great cheerleaders and like our biggest fans. It's been great.
Fantastic. And where can people find you online and on social media, Angie?
They can find us at goodgrazes.ca, and we're at Good Grazes on all social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Terrific. Thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.